3 and impossible. We're out here. We're vibing. The Warriors are your champions, in case you missed it the last couple weeks. Been a minute since we got on here. Steph.
We gotta talk about it.
Finally got his finals MVP. Of course, we gotta talk about it, Joseph. Of course, we gotta talk about it. So let's get right into it. Warriors win. Steph gets his finals MVP that he probably should have got a while ago, but he got it now. Balled out. Really no question in this one. We don't need to spend a ton of time on the finals because we did spend like 3 separate episodes / live game live streams for it. But Joe, just kind of give me your thoughts. I guess the question that I want to know, obviously Steph got the finals MVP, but the thing that got kicked around for a while and is somehow being debated, maybe one of you guys are going to take that same, in my opinion, stupid side, but are the Warriors officially a dynasty?
They've been a dynasty, haven't they? This is their second run to a championship.
I mean,
they've already been a dynasty.
4 and 8 years. Yeah. I don't know what else you call it, but
they're a dynasty.
Devion, I know you don't like them.
I don't. But yeah, they are. Can't really deny it now. At this point, they just won another ring.
A lot of the old heads trying to like throw shade on it. It seems to come back to like Jordan's era, like trying to talk about the Celtics and then the Magic, Lakers, and the Bulls and the 90s. Like those were.
And half the old heads talking weren't even part of the dynasties. They was getting their ass beat.
Yeah.
Like I don't get it.
What they consider a dynasty? People who like three-peat?
Yeah, that was one thing I heard commonly starting like, well, they never three-peated. Like,
so then you saying Kobe never had a dynasty then with the Lakers?
They three-peated
once. Yeah, but do you really call that was a dynasty team?
I mean, I would call it a dynasty.
I would,
but
I don't know if I would call it a dynasty.
The same logic that they're using, there's no way in hell they can call it a dynasty.
Yeah,
that's fair. I think. I guess that's a dynasty. I'm gonna go with 5 years. You have to have 5 years of being like the top tier there, or at least you get to the Western Conference Finals. Like you gotta be there at least 3 out of 5 years. You gotta be there.
If you're not, it's fine. But you could be one of you gotta be one of the greatest teams ever,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like
they didn't make they were out for 2
years.
2 years.
But that's it.
I mean, the injuries is what it was.
Yeah, and same thing with the Lakers. Yeah, same thing with the Lakers. 3, then you miss the playoffs for 2 years, come back, 2-peat. Got one of the greatest teams, arguably one of the top 3. You can, I guess, we'll just say that, just not argue. Top 3 greatest teams ever. I don't know. I don't care if they only had 3 good years. What you gonna say? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of it comes down to a lot of people are still just like kind of butthurt that Durant went there and made like the NBA predictable for a few years. But like at the end of the day, on every championship team, you had Curry, Clay, Draymond, and I mean you can kind of say Iguodala. You can say Iguodala, but he was a non-factor this year. But like they had their main guys were there for all of them. It's not like it was like if you're to use your Lakers example, if you wanted to try and say like combining like the years that Kobe won with Shaq, then with like Gasol and Bynum, like no,
that's what I was trying to get.
Those are 2 separate things, right?
Those
but like
2 separate dynasties.
Yeah, Kobe being like the only consistent piece in there. That like to me, this is a very clear cut. Obviously, a dynasty. Give them their props; they're good. You can hate them, but you hate them because they're good.
They built a good team, and they don't really have.
But they're not running it back next
this year. They have no
year.
Oh, you are like they've been champions for 2 weeks, and you jump off the train.
Yep, because everybody jumping on the train, acting like they're gonna win it again next year. Like, come on, bro. Like, calm down. I'm
not gonna. Yeah,
they was not that good this year. Like, let's be real.
They were.
If they played a better team in the finals, it would have been a different story.
Yeah, I don't think I ain't go like they were good and stuff, but I can't just go in and just say, oh, they go.
That's fair.
No, I mean
repeat,
it's not.
You know
It's not like it's not like it was when I had
but...
Durant, when it's like okay, yeah, they're gonna win again the next year for sure. But I think they deserve to be the favorite.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think they deserve to be the favorite.
That's fair.
It's like the Bucks were the favorite until they didn't want the favorite anymore.
It's not like there's any big piece that's going to be going away. They should get Wiseman back. Like see what he looks like next year, because that could be a whole nother element to their team. But let's get to the offseason kind of drama is what I'm going to call it.
Let's go to John Wall, because some news just broke and he's on our list.
All right,
things to talk about.
All right, we can do that. We can do that. I was going to kind of pair the Wizards people, the former Wizards.
I mean, it just came across.
It's cool.
It just came across.
It did. John Wall is getting a buyout. So good for John Wall. He will finally actually get to play basketball again.
Guess where he's going to go?
I'm curious to see where you think he's going to go. Where do you think he's going to go?
Clippers. He's going to try to sign with the
Clippers.
Woj says plans to sign with the Clippers. Woj and Dave McMenamin, what's his name? Yeah, Dave McMenamin and Woj says he plans to sign with the Clippers.
That's interesting. Actually,
is that better than that's better than who they got right now? What's his name?
Reggie Jackson?
Yeah, it's better than Reggie Jackson.
Is it? Do we know that?
Yeah, that's fair. He ain't played in 3 years? 3 years?
Yeah. I don't think
you seen what John Wall's looking like these days?
A little chubby.
Yeah, you got a little gut on him.
Hey man,
something about Houston. There's something about Houston. These guys go down.
They paid him not to play. Like, come on.
No, yeah. I mean, it's just, to me, like, it seemed like John Wall was actively trying to get out of Houston. So, like, you would have thought maybe, I don't know, I would have thought he was training a little harder. But, maybe he was working on other parts of his game, working on shooting, stuff like that. Who knows? Not gonna.
Hey, last time he was training too hard, he slipped and fell in the shower. I'm just saying. We ain't seen him play since he slipped and fell in the shower. I don't know what NBA player can't. I don't know what he was doing in that shower. But I'm just saying, if you're an NBA player, you think you can stand up in the shower without falling.
You would hope so. Devion, what are your thoughts on the John Wall situation?
Rockets suck, so I wouldn't want to play there anyways. Like he played well. Like I think he did enough to showcase.
The 15 games they actually let him play over the last 2 years.
Yeah, right? Like when they actually let him play, he showcased himself. He was like, all right, he still got that spark, and then they just didn't play him. Like that's like,
we may win a couple too many games,
bro. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of money. That was like he had like a $47 million contract or something, and he had to get a buyout. But I'm cool with the Clippers because if my competition is Reggie Jackson, I'll take my chances because he's not consistent. He just plays for the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? Like
straight up,
he's a worse version of John Wall to me.
Bro, he's supposed to be only getting 19 minutes a game, and he getting like 32, 34.
Yeah, but to John Wall,
he's a pretty clutch performer, though. Like I think you got to give Reggie Jackson that. Reggie Jackson, I agree, he's not like some like star player, like,
but he got that
more than what should be. He should just be a role player.
He got that little bit of that Mario Chalmers. He got that Mario Chalmers mentality where he think like, "Ooh, I'm finna get off." Like, dog, calm down, man. Like, no.
Well, yeah, he's a superstar in a dysfunctional system. So yeah, that's why I was like John Wall. I guess like going to the Clippers is to just showcase your talent, and you hope that Kawhi comes back and he plays. Because if not, you just blew $47 million. And now you just going a little.
I'm sure he got a chunk.
Or that could put a lot of pressure on him, and then he could be fine. He could be Westbrook for the Lakers, but instead he'd be with the Clippers. I'm just saying, we ain't seen him play in a minute. I mean, if you go there, you the third option, and if everything fall apart when you there, they're gonna treat you just like they treated West. Well, maybe not because don't nobody care about the Clippers, but it's possible.
I don't know, man. I don't get it. Like I liked some of like the mid-season moves they made to clearly gear up for this year. You know, getting Covington, and I'm blanking on there was one other Norm Powell.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Norm Powell. Yeah.
You know, those were nice moves that they made mid-season. Clearly that's geared for this upcoming season. They knew they had no shot last year, but to me, I don't know. Maybe you guys feel differently about some of their players. Who's their best shooter? Like that's going to play a lot. Like Luke Kennard. I don't know what his minutes are going to look like now that you bring in John Wall. Like, is Paul George your best shooter? Kawhi?
Yeah,
like none of those guys, like I mean, Kawhi's a good shooter. Like they're like, and PG's a good shooter, but man,
they're not lights out.
I feel like when that comes playoff time, I feel like people are just gonna shrink and say, "All right, beat us from the outside." I don't know if that's the move for me. Like I like Covington again is like a nice shooter. Norm Powell is a nice shooter. They have no knockdown shooter. So like that's what, like I don't know, because like you obviously have to pay him. I don't know how much you have to pay him. After
you don't like Shamet?
Shamet's on the Suns.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm thinking 2-3 years ago. My fault.
Yeah,
I'm trying to come up with a shooter. I'm trying to come up with a shooter they really don't have one. You ain't lying.
Like I don't expect John Wall to be like a great defender. Like he was a good defender back in his Wizards days. I don't know that I expect that from him now, though.
Yeah.
So check this though.
Like maybe play passing lanes and stuff, but
yeah, check this. This might be a solid move because they don't have no shooters. Paul George probably is the best shooter, but if you got John Wall could attack the basket and he could distribute that ball. So attracting some shooters now is a little bit easier. I don't know.
Who's really available?
But see, the
like
thing
I'm looking at free agents. Like you got Gary Harris, decent shooter. Joe Ingles is an okay shooter. Torian Prince, Jeremy Lamb. I guess that's like your probably the best pure shooter out there.
He's like a low budget Ariza. Yeah, low budget Ariza.
Patty Mills has a player option, but I assume he's probably gonna probably take that with the Nets.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Especially, why would I come? I wouldn't go to the Clippers to play behind them and stuff like that. So I would stay where I'm at. I don't know. That's the thing. But your best bet is just to have, you know what I'm saying? Right now, they don't have an argument to me who wants to go play with the Clippers. But now if you get John Wall, at least somebody who will get you the ball, it might be a little easier. I'm not going to say you're going to run to go there, but it's just like a better argument for them to go. But it ain't really many shooters unless you go package something up and go trade some people. But I still don't see how they going to do that. They're going to be playing old school ball in a new league. So that's going to be tough.
I'm just saying, you saw how tight it got for my Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, and that's running two lethal shooters in their lineup with Duncan Robinson and Max Strus. There's nobody like that on the Clippers.
Not even
close. Unless I just haven't seen them yet. I'm not going to act like I know the Clippers roster 1 through 15, but that's just kind of my takeaway. But let's talk about John Wall's previous teammate, Bradley Beal. We all love him. He's going to opt out and then re-sign for the Supermax with the Wizards. Big sigh. Why, Brad? Why?
Bro.
But I get it. It's 250 million reasons for him to do it. I get it. And I just want to say this. I want to say this real quick, and I'll kick it to you guys.
You hear me?
I'll kick it to you guys on this. This does not mean he won't still demand a trade. This is, no matter what, this is the smart thing to do. Get the contract, then ask.
Get your paper. That's a fact.
Now, he could have tried to do what Kyrie looked like attempted to do by saying, no, I'm going to reject it. And then the only way that I'll sign is if you agree to sign and trade him to a team of my liking. He could have tried that, but I still think this is a safe way. I think he probably is going to try and make it work in Washington for another year or two before he would ultimately try to ask for that trade. But Joe, what do you think? Our fellow CCP guy.
Man. He know his role. He's second fiddle. He's second fiddle. Shit, he gonna end up being third fiddle because Jason Tatum, David Lee, and Jason Tatum, great NBA players. Because David Lee got a championship, Jason Tatum gonna get him one. Brad gonna be forgotten.
Boy, David,
it is what it is.
Third
it is
fiddle,
what it is.
Boy, you was crazy.
No, he not.
Boy, you was crazy.
David Lee,
yes, he is.
David Lee was the only thing working for the Knicks for about 7 years,
and didn't do shit. He got that.
What you mean? David, what you talking about? He was an all-star.
Bailout ring. Come on.
He was.
But David,
he was the best thing in the last 5 years. You can name 2 good things for the Knicks: Carmelo Anthony and David Lee.
Amari Stoudemire.
And then Julius Randle.
That's more of a commentary on the Knicks, though. Like that's not necessarily like pumping David Lee up. That's just how fucking terrible.
Maybe
David Lee to be your best.
Brad gonna be the only one without. He gonna be the only one without a championship.
Bro, that's gonna happen. You're not about to just hand Jason Tatum.
Shit, you might as well throw JoJo White up there. Actually, first of all, he's got.
He was crazy.
I get one. First of all, JoJo White got one with the Celtics, so he probably actually number 1. So Brad gonna be number 4. Come on, you can't play for the Wizards your whole career and not sniff even a Eastern Conference Finals. Like, bro, y'all had one good playoff run, and then y'all met.
First of all, hey, let me ask you a question, Joe. Let me ask you a question.
They were a Game 7 away from the Eastern Conference Finals.
When did David?
If my aunt was a man, she'd be my uncle.
Boy,
when he had a what?
When did David Lee even have close to a season like Brad Beal even last year? 31 points, 4 assists.
No. He ain't gonna. He had plenty of 20 and 10 seasons. Yeah, plenty of 20 and 10 seasons.
Right, but he didn't win his championship until he was relegated to being just a role player on the
man.
Juwan Howard. It was Juwan Howard.
Whatever he got one.
Fantastic.
He got one.
Yeah,
he's not. To
but
use
we can't give that ring.
To use the common TNT analogy right now, he was not a bus driver. He was not a bus driver on the team that won. All right.
Fuck no. And we ain't gonna use that to bump him, elevate him over Brad. No. Brad could stop right now, and his career is better than David Lee's by a milestone.
Right,
if he stopped right
now. David Lee had a very good career.
He did have a good career, but it ain't.
Come on, man. Relax, bro. No way.
For one, anybody who played on the Knicks that's halfway decent should shine. Ain't like you got many people on there who go steal your shine. You know what I'm saying? Like, fair. Come on, bro. Like,
fair.
It's the Knicks, man.
So
fair.
Like, but he was cold. I'm not gonna lie. David Lee was a beast. He really was a beast. But I just don't see him being better than.
I'm just saying. Maybe it's a little hyperbole. Maybe it's a little hyperbole, but come on, man. You gotta lead DC, dog. I don't care how much you love DC. I don't care how good it's been to you. I don't care charity you done. He revamped a historic basketball court in DC.
Every city in America could use some charity. It's America.
He was gonna lose. Exactly. What's he really gonna lose out on? He was gonna lose like $30 million, bro. Like, you still was gonna make hella money, and you would have regained that $30 million if you would have went chase ringing. Like, just go get the ring.
I'm not getting no Brad Beal.
Players that you're gonna be one of those Brad dudes where one person say, "Oh, you remember Brad Beal?" They're gonna say, "Oh yeah, he was real good."
But was he? And 28. He like what? 27, 28, bro.
He's 29.
Are 28. You crazy? You think You think
I'm a year younger than us?
I'm not. First
of all, about to be 29.
I'm 29. Not walking away for $250 million. At the end of the day, if you sucked as a player, you were great as a player. At least I'm ultra rich. I'm not walking away from that type of money, bro. Like, come on, man. It's a super
I still think he's just trying to give them a chance to see how this plays out with him and Porzingis. Like, that's a decent.
No, he's not. No way. You don't believe that. You don't believe that.
Yeah, I do.
Will you?
I think
you don't even believe that in your heart.
No, I don't think it's
if you was in Bradley Beal's situation, you sit there and tell me would you sit there and be like, give me Porzingis? Before that, they gave me West a chance. No way. He's not thinking that. There's no way in hell he believes that they're gonna bring some talent in there to help him win.
As people that are not as talented.
No, it doesn't. It didn't work with. You think it's work with Bradley Beal?
Yeah, that was Luka's fault that it didn't work.
That was Luka's fault. That was a perfect situation for him.
Luka playing like trying to be James Harden when he had Porzingis. That
on
was
Luka.
I agree. That was on Luka.
I'm just saying, for them.
Joe, you're talking about it from a perspective like us who are just objectively sitting here like, Brad's probably already a stretch to be like the best player on a championship team. Like we all kind of know that. Like he's best suited to be the second best player on a championship team. But when you're as good as Brad fucking Beal, you're not like that's not a way. You don't think about yourself like that. So I think he's like, oh, I got Porzingis. I think that probably compliments me the best out of all the good players I've played with. Like as good as John Wall was, as good as Westbrook is, like a big to go with him that can pick and pop and shoot, help space the floor, free up the lane for him. I feel like he, in his head, is probably thinking like, yeah, we'll make this work. Like we'll
Who they
make
gonna
this
bring
work.
in?
I don't think
they
it's gonna work.
$250.
No, he got. Well, come on, you gotta be real.
That's fine.
It's gonna be.
Who's the third option?
Maybe this year Rory will take the step.
The referee is the third option. But you gotta think about it, man. $250 million, man. I'm gonna do 1 or 2 years. I'm gonna get my max contract. 2 years. If you're not bringing me that, you could force a trade, and somebody go give you something for Bradley Beal, and they'll pay that money. So he ain't all bad. You know what I'm saying?
Think about it.
He cool.
In a year or two, he's gonna be 30 or 31. He's still got plenty of good years left.
He can shoot. He can dribble. He can do everything. His game ain't just go dissipate out of nowhere. He ain't a dunker. You know what I'm saying? You'll be more worried about like a Westbrook career because it's built off of athleticism versus Bradley Beal's. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll take Bradley Beal at 31. Pair him up with somebody. Why damn near get rid of my whole team and put shooters around him because he can shoot. He can get you 30. Just put some shooters and some talent around. Like Porzingis is the showcase year.
I'm intrigued by how the Wizards fill out their roster.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think they're really going to be able to compete just because I think the teams at the top of the East are just going to
make the playoffs though.
Too better. But yeah, I think they'll be up there. All right, let's move to the big drama story. Nets drama, but nothing's going to fucking change. So all that talking and threats and all that bullshit for nothing. So Kyrie Irving is opting in. He looks like he's just going to play out the contract. Looks like the contract extensions are dead with the Nets, at least until maybe next offseason, depending on how this year goes. That's going to satisfy KD, who will stay, I'm assuming. He's going to stay now that his boy's back, and they're going to get Ben Simmons, and they'll try and fill out the roster somehow to make that all work. So, Joe, first, I want to ask you, did you actually think that your dumbass Lakers had a fucking prayer of getting Kyrie Irving for $6 million?
Hell no. Hell no.
Thank
Hell
God.
No. Kyrie lost $17 million just for missing the games from COVID. You think he was going to turn down $36 million? What's $36 million plus 17? Will, can you do that math for me real quick?
That's
$57 million or something like that.
53
million. You think he's gonna turn out 53 million, man? Like seriously, he's not gonna do that and then get 6 million. That's just dumb. But first of all, this narrative that people are trying to run with this early, ever since he opted in, that now he's committed to Brooklyn. No, that's not true.
Shit.
I mean, he can still request a trade. It's called a sign and trade. I know. So that's the thing, though. That's what makes it hard to trade for him, because you got to get that guarantee. That team is going to need to know he's going to sign with us, or I'm not going to trade for you. Also knew Kyrie not going to the Lakers, first of all, because the Lakers tried to trade Taylor Horton-Tucker and Russell Westbrook and the 2026 first-round pick for Michael Brogdon, and the Pacers said no. Get Kyrie, even if he does, even after he signed in, after he opted in, and you trying to trade, what do you think you got to give up? You're going to have to give up Anthony Davis, THT, 3 first-round picks. Like, ain't nobody finna take, nobody not finna take that.
Joe, the difference,
I might take that,
there,
you got to give up. The only piece you have is Anthony Davis that you can give up. That's it.
No, I hear you, but The difference is, though, what you already mentioned is that Kyrie has leverage in the situations. He can choose the spot. Like if Kyrie really wanted to go to the Lakers, he said, "All right, Brooklyn, I'm either gonna walk or you can get something for me." That's different than Michael Brogdon, who has no leverage, and you have to actually impress the Pacers. Like that's the only thing I'm saying. Like it's a little bit of a different situation, but I agree. The Nets, and you just know, like KD and LeBron, I think are like cool off the court, like not best friends or anything, but like they're competitive as fuck when it comes to their legacy and their careers.
Yeah.
KD's not going to be going for just giving Kyrie away to LeBron in LA, unloading Westbrook. Like he's not into doing LeBron a favor in the basketball world. Is my point. So, yeah, I agree. The list of teams I thought was really interesting.
And then if you do that, what's KD gonna do? Oh, the list of teams is
request his trade.
I'm not giving you to any of those teams.
Yeah, it was an interesting. One was shocking to me, but I'll save that. Devion, what was your kind of thoughts on that whole situation
Dallas?
with Kyrie and how it played up? No, that actually wasn't the most shocking one for me.
I knew we wasn't getting them for $6 million for sure. I don't think Kyrie is staying there. I think, because if the Brooklyn Nets, I know what you're saying with the Westbrook, why would you trade for him? At least Westbrook will play. You're not gonna have issues with Westbrook. You both paying a whole bunch of money. At least you got a chance of somebody playing. Kyrie, you don't know what you're gonna do. I think he gonna get traded by the deadline. Personally.
If their season doesn't go well, I agree. Yeah. Like if they just have a bad start, I could see them moving him. No, but the one, Joe, the one that I was talking about that was shocking to me was Philly. Like, wasn't the whole thing him like Harden?
Oh yeah, that's fair.
That's why he wanted out. Like the Heat was not shocking because the Heat was on his original list when he wanted out of Cleveland. So like that didn't shock me. I was personally very okay if they were going to take like a Lowry and Duncan Robinson plus maybe a pick, but like I didn't want to give up.
I gotta step away real quick. Hold on.
All right, go handle your business.
Keep going.
But the thing that I didn't want to give up like a Tyler Hero or like a people actually mentioned that reminded me. Chris Broussard needs to be drug tested. He said if the Heat want to trade with the Nets, they start with Jimmy Butler and Bam.
I saw that. Yeah, that's not
Kyrie
happening.
And Ben Simmons. I was like, are you out of your fucking mind?
No. You give Tyler Hero and
Jimmy Butler is better than Kyrie, and Bam is better than Ben Simmons. So why the fuck would the Heat even? Like, if I can tell you this much right now,
you give him Tyler Hero and a draft pick.
That I wouldn't even give him Hero if Kyrie's asking to be out. Like if Kyrie's forcing his way out, I'm not even giving you that. Like I'll give you some shooters and a first round pick. But nonetheless, some of these people like. If Pat Riley would have got on the phone with Sean Marks and he said Jimmy Butler and Bam for Kyrie and Ben Simmons, I guarantee you Pat Riley would have probably said "fuck you" and then hung up the phone.
Yeah,
he would have hit him with that.
The people who are making those suggestions, the people who are asking those questions don't know basketball. Obviously, Kyrie 100% does not fit with them. It'd be Dion Waiters all over.
Yeah, I mean that was already going to be a stretch. It was definitely
like seriously. You really think Kyrie's gonna show up to Pat Riley one day and be like, "I ain't playing today because Roe v. Wade or some shit like that. I ain't playing today." Like you think Pat Riley gonna take that? Come on now. You think it is true that Pat Riley, that Kyrie Irving was held in his own practices after Steve Nash had a whole practice and the Brooklyn Nets had a whole practice and Kyrie was taking 4 or 5 guys and holding his own practice after practice? You really think that's going to work in Miami? Ain't no fucking way. Like, come on, bro. This one to me, like Miami, Kyrie even know Miami, bro. You know you're not working in Miami because you got big.
I think I don't know about that. I think it could have worked, like from that, like personality-wise. I think it could have worked because I don't get the sense that like Kyrie's not like a hard worker like when he's working, And I think one thing that the Heat do that a lot of people don't necessarily associate, because I think a lot of people associate like tough, gritty, like our way or the highway type thing with the Heat. I don't necessarily think that's all the way true. There's a line that won't be crossed. Like when LeBron came, LeBron's a bit of a diva. They worked with LeBron. Now LeBron is a whole nother fucking stratosphere
but that's
than
LeBron.
Kyrie Irving. But like there's a story. I forgot where someone was talking about it, reliving the story. LeBron's first year in Miami, and he got into it with Spo, and basically it was like in Spo's office. And Spo just went up and said he wrote Pat Riley's phone number on his little whiteboard in there and said, "Call him, get me fired. Call him and get me fired." That's Spo's rookie head coach year. He said, "Call him." Like there's lines that won't be crossed, but I think that there are also bridges up. Like I think they would get buy-in from Kyrie, and there'd be an understanding. I mean, because basically, look at it. Jimmy Butler played 60 games. Bam played 50-something games. Like no one on the Heat last year played 80. Like Kyle Lowry missed a lot of games for personal reasons last year. So I think it could have worked in that sense, but yeah, I never really thought it was going to happen, because I know the way the Heat think. If they see Kyrie's leaving, they're not asking for Kyrie. They're going to be asking for KD. That's
yeah, exactly.
Pat Riley's always going to go. Pat Riley's always going to go for the big fish, not the little fish. But I'm happy to see them run it back. I'll put it to you like that. I'm happy to see them run it back. I think it's either going to go amazing or awful, and I can't wait to see which one.
Yep, it's going to be entertaining. That's for damn sure.
All right, Devion had something come up. He actually has to hop off for the rest of the episode, but Joe and I can hold it down.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about the Spurs. DeJounte Murray is being shopped. Only team that I see that has real interest that I've seen so far is the Hawks. And the interesting little side note there is that they are not including John Collins. Like, no John Collins in it. Yeah, I want to know your thoughts on this one, Joe. Like, fit both. I mean, first of all, it's weird to see the Spurs looking like they're going, like, full tank. Yeah, like, that's not really something you would think, like, with Popovich, like, at his age. But, I don't know, everyone's really obsessed with that, presumably next year's number 1 overall pick. So, I don't know. But, yeah, what are your thoughts on this one, Joe?
Man, that doesn't make sense to me if you're the Atlanta Hawks. Like, that's why they don't want to give up John Collins. You need John Collins because that pick and roll with him and Trae Young is just ridiculous. Like, you need a big man that can do that pick and roll with Trae Young because that's what the NBA is. But when
I think John Collins is good as gone.
It's a ball hog. But you gotta get something for him.
DeJounte Murray's a ball hog? I didn't necessarily see that with DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, because he plays with the Spurs. But he still had a high usage rate because he's the best player. But I mean, if he goes to the Hawks, you tell me it's gonna be enough. There's enough ball for DeJounte Murray to do his thing and Trae Young to do his thing. Like, that's the whole problem with the Atlanta Hawks for the last 2 years. They got too many people who want the ball. Like, you need to get somebody who can create their own shot, or no, what you really need is some spot up shooters for real, and just let Trae Young do his thing and have John Collins like that. I don't understand how they just got too many people playing the same positions, and you're gonna bring in another guard. You had too many forwards now. It makes no sense. I get it. They want to make a splash, though. Big hole.
Yeah, I think the Hawks' line of thinking is they know they need an upgrade in talent at the top end. You know, because I think one thing they saw last year in the playoffs. Look what happened when the Heat picked up Trae Young full court. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Say, okay,
that's fair.
We're going to give it to our 6'8" point guard and let Trae play off the ball until we get into the half court. So, like, I'm more with you, Joe. Like, where I still don't fully understand it, because I think their thinking is, though, if they can essentially send picks, and I think it was Gallinari that they were the player that was being attached to it, Gallinari plus picks, then they will flip John Collins for picks and kind of recoup the picks. So essentially be Gallinari for DeJounte Murray, which would be an upgrade. You'd still have Bogdanović, who is kind of the shooter that you're referencing that can put it on the floor a little bit. it would be really interesting to see what they do at the 4 if they made that move, because I don't know who's going to replace John Collins. You still got Capella, who like you were saying, Trae Young can still run his pick and roll with Capella, who's had a lot. They've had a lot of success together. And I think another thing that DeJounte Murray would add is some good perimeter defense, which they
do not have. Yeah.
So like I don't know, maybe they go small.
Herder is not that dude.
No, I mean he's actually a fine defender. Like he's not. But maybe that's their plan. Maybe they go small and they're like, they see the way the NBA is going. Maybe they'll go Trae, Murray, Bogdanovich, Hunter, Capella. Like maybe that's their 5 and just kind of run and gun. They have a lot of switchable pieces.
They can get away with that a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean you have 2 guys that are like 6'8" in Murray and Hunter. I don't know.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
That makes sense though, because then you can put Murray on their best guard, because Trae not playing no defense. So maybe
I don't know. The more we talk about it, the more I like it. But when I first saw it, my first battle, I was like, really? The Hawks?
Huh?
But
who y'all want? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Actually, the more we talk about
it, we're getting there. Yeah, I'm getting there. there.
You know what they're doing a little bit.
I think the more I think about it, I think that would be a net positive for them, because like you were saying, they're very redundant when it comes to Gallinari, Bogdanovich, Herder. Like that's like 3 people that are the same exact player.
They do the same thing exactly.
Diversify, and I think taking some of the playmaking responsibility off of Trae Young's load would be probably beneficial for him and his career and everything.
Yeah, how often do we see Trae play off ball? Nice to see him play off ball more. Get those Steph Curry looks at the 3. Yeah. I mean, I actually don't think Trae Young's that great of a 3-point shooter, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, it's tough. I think like if you just give him like knockdown, like catch and shoot threes, I think he's probably about as lethal as it gets. His percentage is never going to be that great because he takes a lot of tough ones. So like
stupid threes. Yeah, like you're not Steph, bro.
Yeah. No one is. No one is. But all right, here's the last bit of I guess free agency news that I want to talk about, Joe. The Suns got a situation here. What do they do about DeAndre Ayton? Got no more years left on that contract. Extend him, max him. I mean, he wants a max. So I want to ask you, Joe, put your GM hat on. If you are the GM of the Phoenix Suns, how do you handle this Ayton situation? Do you give him the money or you let him walk?
What I'm going to say first is I heard some crazy shit on NBA radio from your favorite analyst. It wasn't Justin Termini. That's his name. Who's on with Justin Termini? I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden. But anyway, he does the color commentary for the Phoenix Suns as well.
Eddie
Johnson. This fool said they should sign and trade him to get Kevin Durant. He said sign and trade.
Boy,
so they can get
Kevin that would be nice.
Trade Ayton. I was like, really? Like that. Devin Booker, like DeAndre Ayton. Fuck that. What's about to happen? If I'm the Phoenix Suns, I'm not signing DeAndre Ayton. You don't stretch the floor enough for me. You're a big man, and it's nice. You get the rebounds. You're gonna let you walk. You're gonna get paid. The New York Knicks are gonna pay you, and it's gonna end up being a bust. It is what it is. You need to play small ball anyway because he really wasn't helpful for you this season. Quite honest, you got Mikal Bridges out there who's showing that he can become a star. So you make room for him. You can just go small, get you another power forward, and just play small ball. I think it'd be great. I'll let him walk. He's good, but he's not good enough to keep. He's not that generational talent that everyone thought he was going to be.
The obvious move, if you can, sign and trade him. So he still gets his money, but you actually get something for him. But I'm with you. Like, if I have to choose between signing him and letting him walk, I'm letting his ass walk. Because what do we know about DeAndre Ayton? before Chris Paul got there, everyone was talking about how much of a bust he was, right? Like when it was just him and Book, DeAndre Ayton was not living up to that first overall pick. CP gets there, all of a sudden he looks like a very good big man, which I think he's probably somewhere in between there. But CP3 ain't got that many more years left. CP3 will not be in the NBA at the end of DeAndre Ayton's contract. So do you really want to be tied down to like what, $40 million is probably what DeAndre Ayton's contract will be pushing, and by the end of it, do you really want that on your books? I personally don't. Maybe I hope for his sake, I hope he proves me wrong, but I don't see it. And I like the player, like those role players, like I wouldn't want to give up the Jay Crowders or the Mikal Bridges or the campaigns, like all those kind of little pieces that when you have now like 3 max guys on a team that you end up losing, I don't know that I really want to lose them for DeAndre Ayton. I'd rather just start JaVale McGee and spend that money elsewhere. That's me, though.
I'm not doing it either. I mean, yeah, like you said, when Chris Paul's gone, you're going to have Devin Booker, you're going to have Mikal Bridges, and you may not be able to keep Mikal Bridges because you'll have DeAndre Ayton on the books. You may end up losing him. Then you're going to have Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Is that really going to take you to the promised land?
We already saw that story. They had a nice, cute little 8-0 run in the bubble to not make the playoffs. Like, we saw that already.
Exactly.
All right, Joe, let's talk about the draft. Let's talk about the draft. So, I'm not going to out whoever your source was, Joe, but your source would have lost me a lot of fucking money if I would have bet his picks on the NBA draft.
Bro. But yeah, that shit changed at like the last second.
All right, so let's talk about it.
It was like 30 minutes. I was like, well, Banchero made first. I was like, what?
Yeah, he was like, I want to say like 2 days before the draft started, his odds started creeping up. And then, like you're saying, like an hour, 30 minutes before the draft, they just shot up. Like somebody got some information and started hammering the money on Paolo Banchero. So Paolo Banchero becomes the 4th player from Duke to go first overall, joining Zion, Kyrie, and Elton Brand. So far, the first 3 have all been
good company.
I would say worthy. Let's just start with Paulo. What did you think of the decision by the Magic to go Paolo Banchero over? It sounded like everyone thought it was going to be Jabari.
Okay. When you start to think about it a little bit, like if you think about the fan base in Orlando, they actually are a pretty good fan base, and they've been taken for so long. It's about time.
Very international fan base as well.
Yeah, it's about time that they start
Paulo
winning.
Banchero's, Mexican
that
descent.
Helps.
I know
that helps.
The Magic have a big Brazilian influence, so obviously not the same as Mexico, but Latin influence. But anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. And I just think if you're the Orlando Magic and you got that fan base and you pretty good talent, and when you look at like who they have and how they've been taking the last few years, there's a little bit of pressure on you. It's time for your guys to start trying to win. And I thought Banchero was probably the most out of the top 3 guys taken. He was the most ready to play. Like you can plug him in right now and he's going to contribute. Like he may not be great his rookie year, but when you look at his tape, he's the most polished, ready to go guy. I'd say Banchero, Jaden Ivey, and then Johnny Davis to me were the 3 most ready, plug in, and they can play right now type of guys. The most upside out of those guys. So you kind of have to take them number 1, especially when you start looking at Jabari Smith's tape a little bit. Like, okay, yeah, knockdown shooter, but you can't dribble the ball. And then you're gonna be in there. You a forward, like you're gonna be playing power forward something too. You're gonna have to be able to dribble, get around dudes, and then pull up and take a shot. Like you can't just catch and shoot all day long as a power forward and be a number 1 pick. Like that's not gonna get it done. You gotta be able to dribble. You gotta be able to do some moves. Like shooting is nice. It's easy to stand there and shoot in front of a cone, but what can you do? What other moves do you have? And I think that's the main reason why he kind of fell a little. And then with Chet,
I mean, it's
Chet is
interesting.
Just Chet.
the Thunder seemed like they were, as long as Chet didn't go 1, they were taking Chet no matter what. It's hard to argue with Sam Presti's resume, especially when he's picking this high. I don't know. I don't really see the Chet. I don't see Chet.
Chet. I see why people are. I see why people are enthused.
Oh yeah, I mean, I get it. He's 7 foot tall, can shoot it. He puts it on the floor a little bit, but back to Banchero.
You know what I would do? You know what I would do though if I was going against real quick. If I was a team like was playing against Chet, if I had a PJ Tucker on my team, I'd be like, go get him, punk him early on. Just punk him early. That's all it's gonna take. All right, dude can't handle. And you smaller than him and you stronger. Just push him out of there. He can't handle it. He's not that type of guy where he's just gonna turn around and shoot it. No, he's gonna try to be finesse. Not gonna work.
Yeah, I am 1,000% with you. To me, he looks like somebody that you could very easily just use some physicality and take him out the game. I feel like we saw that in college too. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I watched a ton of. I don't watch a ton of. I watched SLU play college basketball, and then I grew up rooting for Duke, so I do watch Duke a decent amount, especially last year with it being Coach K's last year. But like, I probably watched like 5 Gonzaga games, and like obviously I'm only watching.
Well, they don't come on until 10 o'clock at night anyway.
Oh yeah, man. Like I'm watching like their big matchups, right? And like it just seemed like every big matchup, Chet got in foul trouble, and just could not. He just really couldn't make an impact on the game. Like, I'm sorry, but it's going to get tougher. It's going to get harder. Now maybe he fills out a little bit, but the thing is, I see a lot of people trying to compare him to KD. And to me, that's just disrespectful to KD.
I agree.
People just do not remember what KD looked like at Texas. Like KD was a different.
Oh my god, ridiculous!
Like one, like the foot speed and quickness and change of direction is so noticeably different from Kevin Durant in college and Chet Holmgren in college. Like I'm sorry, I'm not saying Chet can't be an effective player. Like there's plenty of ways for him to be an effective NBA player. But like the comparisons that I'm seeing are just wild to me. Now back to Paulo.
Chet Holmgren wasn't even the best player on his Gonzaga team. Drew Timme was better than him, and Drew Timme he went back to college. What I'm saying, exactly, ridiculous. He wasn't even the number 1 option on his own college team.
I can't stand that Drew Timme. It just makes me want to like throw up thinking about him.
He's the next Jimmer for that,
Paulo, right? Which is interesting. I honestly didn't see I hope he does well, but I honestly like the Paulo thing. I'm not really in on it. I don't think he does anything.
He doesn't
great.
Pop.
I think he does about everything good. Like I don't think there's anything that he does bad. And so, like to your point, like I think he'll be able to make an impact in the NBA right away. He's got a big body. He's going to be able to take contact. I think he'll finish around the rim well. He's a good playmaker. He's a willing passer. But I just I don't know the games that I watched. I probably watched 12 Duke games last year, mostly big games plus the tournaments. One, I don't believe in the jump shot. Like I didn't even really believe in his college 3. So like I'm a little worried about him stretching the floor in the NBA. Fair. Like to me, he almost seems like a Jabari Parker light. And like I thought Jabari could have been a pretty good NBA player if he didn't get hurt so much. But like to me, like Jabari was quicker, more explosive. Like Paulo to me, like needs to be kind of I'll say Jimmy Butler type player where he's gonna, use his physicality, live in the lane, mid range. Like that's probably where he makes his living. I don't think he'll ever be the defender that Jimmy is. Like, because I don't know that his foot speed is quite there. So I don't know. Like I didn't like any of them as like a number 1 overall pick, slam dunk. You got yourself a superstar. I didn't see that in any. I think the person honestly might have the best shot at that is Jaden Ivey. I think he's got the best shot at being a superstar. Now, do I think he will be? I'm not sold either. Interesting to see how he fits in with Detroit, though. That's going to be fun, though. I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh yeah.
Did you like that though? I was real. Family. Yo, yeah. His mom went to Cora Hazel in St. Louis, big time. She played in the WNBA. She's the coach for Notre Dame women's basketball. But I was surprised that I was a little surprised that he fell. I thought the Kings would take him. But the fact that he went to, I was surprised about because you got Cade Cunningham. Jaden Ivey's like Russell Westbrook. He's ball dominant. He gonna run all the way down the lane and dunk that bitch, or he can shoot the ball though, but way better than Westbrook. So I was like, that kind of didn't make sense to me because you got Chet. I mean, Cunningham's a little bit more slower. He's not really that fast break type of guy, but he's a good point guard. He's a good facilitator.
I think Detroit
move him to shooting guard and then have Ivey play the. They have so much young talent. It's ridiculous. That's all it is.
That's the thing, though. Detroit is in their stage right now where it's not like they're like one piece away, right? Like they just need to get as many talented players, and maybe they don't work out. Then they trade one to round out the roster better until you figure out which one is the guy. You know, because like I'm not sold on Cade Cunningham yet to be that guy. I thought he had a great rookie year, and I thought every month he looked like he was starting to understand the game a little better. So I'm high on Cunningham. I think he's going to be worthy of that number 1 pick in that draft. But he's far from like, you know, we're talking about best player in a given draft. The NBA does not mean you're a superstar. So, no, I liked it. I thought Jabari Smith would have been a great pick.
Before we move on,
go for it.
For who?
The Magic. I think because you just drafted Jalen
from Arizona.
You brought in what's his name, Fultz from Philly after all this and they have Cole. Yep. They got a lot of guards, so pairing them with a talented big man who I don't necessarily disagree with what your like assessment of Jabari Smith, like good catch and shoot. The one thing that I think you need to highlight with Jabari Smith, I think he's got the best defensive potential out of everybody in that draft. I think he's going to be one of those guys like Evan Mobley last year.
Yeah, because he's long.
Like Bam for the Heat, switch 1 through 5. And it's a chess piece that is so valuable in the NBA right now. So that's why I think I would have gone Jabari.
Right.
But I'm not mad about them going Paulo. Like I think there is potential there. If that shot gets consistent, he becomes a very different player. But what were you going to say, Joe?
The Benedict Mathurin, I think that's how you say his last name, from Arizona. I don't know why everybody love this dude. I don't think he's gonna be in the league in 4 years. People like him so much. I sit there and look at him. I don't see one thing now. I'm like, this guy should be a top 10 pick.
So I'm not going to pretend to know anything. I literally did not watch one Arizona
guys.
game.
I'm like, they're good.
Also fair. I literally have not seen him play a single game. The only thing I know about him is that he afterwards, and I'm hoping I'm not getting duped by a fake quote. I don't think I am. Where he said LeBron's going to have to see him. He said, I think I'm going to be the best player in the league. Very similar. Chet also said, like, in 2 months, me, when asked, like, who's the best player in the NBA? In 2 months, me. Shut the fuck up. You weren't even the best player on fucking Gonzaga. All right? Talking about best player in the NBA.
Right.
But, yeah, this guy.
And I don't think he wants that heat because them players see that shit.
Boy, LeBron don't even know you.
At all.
Dude, you're half LeBron's age, and he don't know you. Miss me with all that bullshit.
Not even a little. These kids, see. Hey, I did like before we
wrap it up. I did
like Johnny Davis going to the Wizards.
Yeah,
Johnny Davis. I love him going to the Wizards.
Is that Tennessee?
That pick.
Is Johnny Davis Tennessee or was he Auburn?
Wisconsin. Point guard from Wisconsin. Dude, Wisconsin.
Okay.
He was a Big Ten player.
I'll need to look him up.
Third year too. Dude's legit.
That means nothing to me. That overrated ass fucking conference.
Light skin dude. Yeah, I am a little worried about him finishing at the rim in the NBA, but besides that, he's pretty good.
All right, I'll check him out. All right, Joe.
And then after that, the draft was just kind of lame, to be honest. After that,
love or violence? I agree. I'm going to tell you right now, Joe. I got a sneaky feeling about Nikola Jovic. Pat Riley said he's going to get his jersey hung in the rafters. Pat Riley doesn't usually miss when he says that. Just saying. He said that about, like...
Did he say that for
one other person? Mm-hmm. He said he's going to have a jersey in the Raptors.
Wait, how you not Nikola Jokic? So, you actually saying different?
Jovic. Jovic.
Spelled the same, isn't it?
No, V-I-C.
Oh, there's a V. There's the V. There's a V. That's right. Okay. That's crazy. Yeah. He kind of looks like.
No, yeah. They said they.
To be honest,
I saw the. There's a meme on Twitter, and it was like Markieff Morris It was like him looking at a paper like Jokic bad, Jovic good. Like, all right, y'all are funny.
That's funny.
But all right, Joe. You know we end the show. Love or violence?
Yes, sir.
Talk to me. You choosing love? You choosing violence today?
Hey, man, I'm taking violence, and woo, Lord, the Lakers done pissed me off so bad that I said Clippers. Ain't that a bitch? That's how disturbed I am with the damn Lakers. I don't even know what to say, bro. To the fact that you legit interested in Kyrie Irving, like you went from the whole. Oh my God, bro! It was such a train wreck to have. And you really think you're going to try to get rid of him and then bring Kyrie Irving in? Like, you don't think that's going to be not too old to be dealing with this nonsense, man. They doing the same thing they did when they had Kobe. They wasting the last few years of greatness, and I just don't understand, man. Woo, if I'm LeBron, I'm out of there. Gotta go, bro. You really gotta go.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't.
I'm playing that last season and
2-1. Please don't. Please. I'm gone. Go, please. And stop bringing up the Cleveland, too. He's not going back to Cleveland, but shit, it's going to be better than playing for the Lakers in 2 years. I can tell you that. I'm pissed off at the Lakers. They so dumb as fuck. Man. What they going to do next year? They're not going to be that bad. He ain't GMing this offseason, and he's going to show you exactly what happened when he don't GM. They still do it. Oh, man. I'm so mad. I'm tired of people, bro. The Lakers fans out here really thought that they was gonna get $1 million. Like, bro, you couldn't even get Michael Brogdon. You're gonna get Kyrie for $6 million. Man, it's so absurd. I got nothing.
It was the funniest shit I saw on NBA Twitter, because I'm just sitting there and I'm like, wow, there are real life people that think Kyrie Irving is going to play for $6 million. And Woj is out there gassing them up like, oh, the Lakers are, they're the only fucking team pursuing Kyrie, because no one knows what the fuck Kyrie's gonna do. Like, I have, until the anti-vax shit, I have defended Kyrie his whole career up until that, which I still think was stupid. I don't think Kyrie overall is a bad person. Like, I think he is, in the grand scheme of things, a great person, great human. I think his anti-vax thing was really stupid. He got stubborn, but I wasn't even sure I wanted the Heat to get him. Like, the Heat were up, we're one of the town. Like, I don't know. I really don't know, because I don't know if I can depend on Kyrie Irving to show up when he's supposed to show up. And that's not actually being able to play and perform. It's like, is he actually going to play the fucking game? Like, that's the only thing. I do think some of it's, like, the one thing that's annoying me is the people that, like, have, like, an agenda against Kyrie, where they try and bring up, like, all the missed games. I'm like, all right, like, there's no mandate next year, so
falls out. It's the if he shows up.
Yeah, and like, again, like, I think, like, now that the vaccine mandates are being lifted, like, there's not really a risk of him not playing. Like, I would have been overall happy if the Heat got him, but Kyrie. But the Lakers fans, I thought he was going to sign a mid-level exception. I got a bridge to sell you. I'll put it to you like that. I'll sell you a bunch of shit if you think Kyrie Irving is going to sign for some $6 million instead of $36 million. But all right, I'm choosing violence. I am going outside of the sports world, Joe, because it is just to me, it's a fucked up time in America. The Supreme Court is just trying to turn America into some fucking theocracy here, and I'm not for it. I know the headliner is obviously Roe v. Wade, but that's not the only thing they've done. So everyone needs to, like, pay attention to everything else that they're fucking overturning. Because the day before they overturned Roe v. Wade, they said that
Yep.
New York did not have states' rights when it came to making their own gun laws, but then said abortion should be handled by the state. So, in a sense, in America, women have less rights than guns. So that is so America at times. But this is what happens when you have a corrupt politician get elected, and he gets to nominate 3 fucking Supreme Court justices in his fucking 4 years in office. So it is what it is. It's America. And then today we had the whole thing with the public school teacher being allowed to
said he can't do it. Can't pick a Supreme Justice.
Oh no, yeah, Obama should have been able to nominate one, and then the real fucked up thing was like the same logic then should have been applied at least to Amy Coney Barrett, who Trump got to anoint. That should have at least gone to the winner of the election, which ended up to be Joe Biden.
Oh.
Wouldn't have mattered because it probably just would have been 5-4 instead of 6-3. But damage was done. This is why all elections matter. This is why when people, I don't know, I'm seeing people like somehow blaming Joe Biden for this, which I'm not the biggest Joe Biden fan in the world myself, but like this damage was done by allowing Trump to have 4 years of presidency, not Joe Biden right now. But anyways, and I'm praying. It is Pride Month, and I am just sitting here putting up prayers for all of our LGBTQ plus community because the same logic I think they're going to apply to the Griswold case, which is what legalized same-sex marriage. So I'm praying for y'all. It's obviously not something that affects me, but praying for y'all. And I mean, who knows what's not? The only thing that's saving, I think, interracial
Brown versus the Board of Education.
That Clarence
next, bro.
No, they're not gonna do that. But at least
they might as well. They're going back 50 years on everything else. Shit.
I mean, crazy. You're right. Like I shouldn't say anything's off limits because of who we're fucking dealing with. But the other one I was bringing up was like the public school teacher that was like leading school, like basically mandating prayers after I think it was football games. Again, obviously, no one is saying it's not okay for the coach to pray, whether it's on the field, off the field, after a game. It's the fact that he's a public school teacher. You're a public school teacher forcing players to do that. That's what's wrong. Not prayer. I'm not saying prayer is bad.
You can have prayer after game all you want. Force people to do it though. It has to be an option.
Force or pressure.
You can
like
stay
I don't
with us
care.
And pray or leave. Yeah.
And there can't be any ill will towards people that say, "Okay, I'm leaving."
You know what? People who have a problem with, who don't have a problem with it. You know what I say? What would you do if that coach was Muslim and he had to stop and turn to the west?
Oh yeah, I was just about to bring that up, Joe. I can't wait. I hope every single Muslim coach starts forcing their players to fucking pray to Allah right after the game. I hope that happens. Like I hope every Muslim teacher leads class with a Muslim prayer. I hope every Jewish teacher leads class with a Jewish prayer. Like just to make sure that we're really all about religious freedom and not just trying to turn this into some Christian theocracy. Because again, I'm a Christian. I just don't think it should be forced on everybody.
It's just like these same people have problems with these golf and the money from the Live Golf Tournament in Saudi Arabia. It makes us different from Saudi Arabia if we're putting reason for legal issues. Like you're telling me that women get an abortion because
I personally have a big.
What's the difference between saying you have to wear a shawl cover your face? I mean, but yeah, I'm just saying they stone women and they kill gays. The Quran says you're not supposed to be a certain difference. I'm pretty sure I don't remember the Bible saying you can't have an abortion.
Oh, of course it didn't say that. I mean, the Bible is just a medium. The Bible is just a medium for people in power to justify why they're going to oppress people. That's what people use the Bible for. Like whenever you hear a politician reference the fucking Bible, like it's never in good faith. It's always just as a justification to do some fucked up shit that they want to do. But yeah, I'm not quite with you on the Live Tour. Fuck them. I understand that like America is very complicit in what goes on over there.
That's a lie, Will. No, damn that, Will. If Saudi Arabia came to you right now, need someone to track statistics for us, I will give you $300,000 to track the statistics of our golfers.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be tempting, but I think I'm pretty confident saying I would turn it
down.
Man,
that's all I'm saying.
My biggest point though. My biggest point is though the people that are. I'm not mad at like the little. Not as mad at like the Koepka brother, right? I'm mad at the Phil Mickelson. That money that's not life-changing money. You've already made life-changing money. And so you are going to now be complicit. I mean,
he did lose $60 million in gambling.
That's his own fault. Like you fucked that up. That doesn't give you an excuse to go, to go wash money for, people running blood money. Like they're running blood oil money through the Live Golf tournament to clean it up. Like that's what they're doing. It's a money laundering scheme. That's why they're putting all soccer teams, like a lot of those countries that are doing some pretty fucked up things are washing their money with
I'm saying if you're Dustin Johnson, you're Dustin Johnson, $6 million in your career from PGA, and you get offered $125 million just to show up. I mean, that's hard to turn down. I'm
not saying it's not hard to turn down, but these guys
I don't know what I would do.
Like these guys make so much money. Like I just really don't think that it's gonna make like that noticeable of a difference to them.
Hey,
like you're already buying that everything that you want to do.
Tiger almost $1 billion. That's true. They almost
and what Tiger
reports I've seen, it was like 800 to 900 million.
I saw 900 million, 900 million to $1 billion, and Tiger said no.
Yo,
I don't know. To me, like the ones that I see going over there, just like are the exact example of people that I just think are purely selfish, only think about themselves. Like that's exactly what I think. What I think of Phil, Koepka, Deschamps. Like that's exactly who I think those people are.
Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, all of them.
Yeah, like it's just like confirming a lot of things for me. Like I don't know. Money is just not like obviously you need money to live and to support yourself, but it's just never going to be that important to me. I don't think.
Capitalism, baby.
I hope not.
I hope not too, but I would definitely think about it. I honestly don't know what I would do in that situation, but I think that's a lot.
No, I mean, I'm not going to say it's an easy decision, but I think for like a guy like Phil or Dustin Johnson who's made ungodly amounts of money, I don't have a lot of sympathy for
seriously.
But all right, y'all.
How much is $50 extra million really going to affect when you already got $50 million?
Not at all. But 50 million is 50 million, so I hear you there. But all right, let's call it an episode, Joe. Until next time, we'll have some more off-season check-ins when we hop on here again. 3 into possible. We're signing out.